Should be playing.
When you got plugged in. Oh, it's not playing yet. It's loading.
Open it on your phone, see if it's playing.
Pops.
If it's muted. I guess.
Pops. Is the music playing? He said the music's not playing.
Welcome back, baby.
Welcome back, everybody. Nice to see you guys today. We're back with another podcast here about we're going to touch a little bit on the NFL, some college drama, a little bit of world news, and we're going to get into this stuff pretty quickly here. Hoping to be on here for about 45 minutes to an hour, just before the next game starts, I believe, tonight.
My name's Tyler. This is Brandon. This is our podcast, Brother to Brother. Let's get it started.
First topic we kind of wanted to touch on tonight is going to be the Bengals. They're kind of upset about that coin toss situation. If they don't win their next game, they're going to do a coin toss for the home field advantage. They're mad because the home field advantage could be possibly given to another team if the coin toss is lost. So they're a little frantic about that. If the Bengals win their next game, their season finale against Baltimore, they will, I'm pretty sure, guarantee them home field advantage for the playoff. And the NFL actually came back at them when they started complaining about it, and they told them that the Bengals should be happy that they're even the AFC North winner. But, I mean, in all reality, Ty, don't you think that, they probably, deserve that since they're the best seed in the North?
I mean, locking in the number one because, they're pretty much locked in there, even if the Ravens do win, due to the forfeit, per se. They're pretty much 100% guaranteed the number one spot, so, it would make sense for them to have the home field advantage. But NFL seems to think otherwise. It should be left up to a coin toss.
Yeah, I think the coin toss scenario would be interesting. I don't know when the last time we saw that was. Didn't really dig in and get a date on that. But going into other playoff talks, we possibly have Lamar Jackson coming back, maybe even for the season finale against the Bengals. But if not, they're saying he has a strong chance to get back against whoever they play in the first round.
Yeah, I did see that. Lamar was for sure coming back for playoffs. I'm not sure if he'll come back for the Bengals. I'm pretty sure he won't. It's probably going to be another Tyler Huntley start. Probably another average game out of him. But, I mean, we got to deal with what we got.
Yeah, I mean, they did say he has still swelling in his knee, a little bit of inflammation down there.
Never want to play with the knee problems.
No, you can't play with those, especially when going into the playoffs. Might as well have him healthy and back.
Yeah.
And we're watching the Kansas City game here finish up here. I mean, the Raiders had no real chance at even touching grass against them. Kansas City kind of made it easy blowout and clinch the playoffs here and get the first round bye, which is pretty awesome for Kansas City. Speaking that they had a little bit of a rough start to the season, and they bounced back and win 14 games.
Yeah, it looked like they were up there.
Now, what do you think that shapes the AFC up to be?
I don't think it affects it too much. I mean, it's always going to be the Chiefs, so they're always going to be good with Patty around there. I mean, he's no great quarterback, but I would say he's probably up there.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I think their backfield's really what's scary going into the playoffs. I mean, they got Jerick McKinnon and Isaiah Pacheco. They got a little bit of everybody out there that can do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and it looks like they got a couple of tricks up their sleeve with that play.
Yeah, the tricks are definitely flying tonight with the
little flea flickers,
full house pistol formation. But yeah, I mean, Kansas City blows out Las Vegas, and for other playoff talks, safety Damar Hamlin makes his first statement today after injury. What do you think about that?
I mean, I think it's great. He's coming back. He's back basically from the dead. He said when you put real love out in the world, it comes back 3 times as much, and that's really a fact. I think it's crazy how much it probably impacted him as he woke up and saw all the messages, the tweets, all the posts. It probably was really extremely shocked by seeing $8 million in that toy fund.
Oh yeah, I think him coming back and being able to be coherent and see everything that's been going around and see all the news that's been talked about him, it's probably really uplifting.
Yeah, for sure. I know he said something about he was really grateful for his fan base and thankful for all those prayers that we all did. I know I did. I know Pops did. I know, it looks like Kansas City and Vegas are praying for him right now still. So, it's a great thing to see.
Yeah, you gotta love it when NFL and even just the world kind of comes together and kind of supports a person or supports something that is meaningful and has to do with human life being possibly lost.
Yeah.
But hey, we're kind of just looking at a huge whip in this playoff picture with the going into the wild card after this week. We got, I think, if the Vikings win, they'll clinch a spot in the wild card or possibly even get into the division. Maybe be the division leader. I don't know where the Eagles were sitting at last we saw.
I'm pretty sure Eagles are top tier on that one. It's they only have a few losses, I believe. So they should be number 1 in that division coming out into the playoffs. It should be a guaranteed lock on that.
Oh, so if Philly loses, they'll be 13-4, and if Minnesota wins, they'll be 13-4. But it looks like the Vikings did clinch the playoff, and Philly clinched just a playoff berth. They didn't. Nobody's declared the winner over there yet in the NFC. And I mean, if Dallas wins, I don't know who they played this week. Who do they play? If Dallas wins, they could be 13-4 as well,
which would be crazy to see. I haven't seen Dallas in the playoffs in a little while.
Well, they're guaranteed a playoff berth.
It would be cool to see them go a little distance in this.
Yeah, I would love to see Dallas do something, especially for Dak after that crazy ankle injury and coming back and doing this thing that he's doing now and putting up numbers with CD. It's going to be really uh, exciting to watch.
Yeah, for sure. It's always exciting to see players succeed that you like. I mean, even if you're not a fan of the team, just some players liking them, watching them do good is always fun.
Yeah, for sure. And I think we had some almost really ignorant news come out of the MLB today with that trade. You had Gregory Soto and Cody Clemens being traded to the Phillies for Nick Matten, Matt Vierling, and Donnie Sands.
Uh-oh.
The Tigers are receiving Nick Matten, Matt Vierling, and Donnie Sands. What do you think about that?
I think it's a pretty awful trade. I'm not gonna lie to you. Gregory Soto's a very good young player, very great pitcher, I believe. And Cody Clemens being only in his second year, that means he's very young, so he still has a lot of growing to do.
Yeah, great
Could be
prospect.
really, really good. So I mean, them trading for those three people that I probably never heard of in my life doesn't seem about smartest decision ever.
Right. I don't think it would be very smart either. But bouncing back to football now with college. We're looking at TCU's starting running back Kendre Miller. He has a sprained MCL. It's partially healed, but it's not looking all the way hopeful for them. What do you think that's going to affect in the bowl game?
I mean, not having your starting running back that also had a 1,300-yard season is a big miss. 1,355 yards, I believe it was. And that's a really, really big loss on their part. If he has to sit out, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. You don't want to get hurt. But he says that he's going to try his hardest to be back in time. Tomorrow's his deciding practice, pretty much.
Yeah. And if he does have to sit out, I think Georgia's going to have a really strong advantage on not having to worry about his versatility being out in that field, since he's kind of a everything back.
Yeah, I mean, he can run. He can catch the ball, run again.
Yep.
I mean, he's a playmaker. Playmaker's got to make moves. But, I mean, there's 50-50 chance that he'll be playing. So, let's hope that he comes back just so we can see a really great game.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, and we're also looking at they have that number. I think he's number 25. I think he's probably the fastest player in college football, if I'd have to say. He's running. He outran their whole team, like within 10 yards of the football. He was gone.
Yeah. I mean, either way, they should be pretty solid, but you always want to see the number ones always on the field just to see what the best against their best is.
Right. I would agree on that. I think we're also going to have a really interesting game there with Georgia being as strong as they are and TCU being as fired up as they are, coming off all the trash talk they received and all the people who doubted them. With TCU's quarterback, Max Duggan, being healthy and being fired up, I think it could get really interesting. What?
I'm not sure if it was TCU's coach, but I'm pretty sure I heard something about one of their coaches being sick
Oh,
in
he's
the
sick.
hospital.
Oh no, that was the Bills.
The Bills.
Yeah, we talked about that
Yeah,
yesterday.
the Bills coach. That's a tough one.
Yeah. I mean, going into the playoffs, you want to have everybody. They're probably not going to have DeMar. They're probably not going to have the coach for the Bills. But I think we're looking for a pretty cool finish all around in all sports.
Yeah,
that are
for
currently
sure.
going. But we're gonna flip this over and jump into some world news. Um, Today, or recently, a man shot someone who was robbing a restaurant down in Houston, Texas, Ranchito Tequila. Um, he stormed in with a ski mask, gloves, and demanded money from the patrons. He was later shot and killed by a customer, and the money was returned to everyone. What do you think about that, T?
I mean, if someone's doing something wrong, you might as well take care of the problem. So, I mean, if I see somebody robbing a store, anything, I'm probably gonna step up and do something about it. So, I mean, this customer just happened to have a gun, and used it at a good point in time. It's not necessarily self defense, but it's defense of a business. So, I mean, I guess we'll have to see how they take a.
Well, he did have a gun actually pointed at everyone in the restaurant. The guy who was stealing.
Okay, so yeah, then that's self defense at that point. I would take him out too. So I think it was a great decision by him.
Yeah, for sure. And then another story that was developing. Richard Branson. He's a space pilot for rockets. I think he might actually work in with Elon Musk or someone. But he has a house in New Mexico, and Elon Musk actually came there at about 2:30 in the morning,
Nice.
and told him good luck on his flight.
Oh man, I wouldn't really expect that from Elon Musk. But I mean, the guy's crazy, so he does a lot of stuff.
Yeah, just like when he did the drones over in Ukraine, he was thinking about sending drones over there.
Yeah, I mean, that guy's capable of creating some crazy stuff. I mean,
Yeah,
he has a lot of money, so
and he has all the technology in the world at his fingertips.
yeah. Also along the lines of Elon Musk, how he owns Twitter.
Yeah.
I've also heard that Mr. Beast is trying to buy that from him. So, what do you think about that? I mean, Mr. Beast is the YouTube guy.
Yeah, I know, but Mr. Beast, his one YouTube channel alone is worth well over $20 billion. So I think him alone and Elon, I think they might come to the consensus on maybe doing a 50-50 share, um, or possibly even just, I guess, Mr. Beast buying it for the right price. I mean, but he's gonna have to come up with a lot of money for that.
I mean, he has a lot of money. I've seen this dude buy islands for people to win in videos. So, money I don't think is the problem for him at all. Elon giving it up, though, on the other hand, is probably not going to happen.
No, because he bought Twitter for a reason.
But the only good part that I would see in it is Mr. Beast wants to turn it into more of a content friendly area. So, like, it's a lot of content, like YouTube almost to a point. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it might actually help the app if he lets him help him.
Now, do you think anybody will ever try to buy TikTok?
I don't see it happening. I think the app is well designed. It gets people really addicted to it. As you can see, everybody's on TikTok nowadays. Everybody's scrolling while everywhere. While you're in the toilet, while you're in the shower, while you're out to eat, when you're just watching a TV show. People are watching TikTok all the time. So,
Yeah, and I think kids, or not. I think there needs to be two different TikToks. I think there needs to be like TikTok for kids and TikTok, because I think sometimes some of their policies and like stuff like that are a little outrageous.
yeah, for sure, there's a lot of outrageous ones. I mean, not being able to post a fight when people post fights all the time is crazy.
Yeah, like I see UFC fights on there all the time, but then when I post a video of a guy falling down the stairs, I can't even. I hit 60,000 views and get shut down.
Yeah, it's kind of like they don't want any more people to be up there.
Yeah.
It's almost like the government's running it.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that their even their like following limit, like you can't follow more than 10,000 people as a user,
Yeah, which is weird.
which I think is shutting down the possibility of a lot of people getting more followers.
Yeah, for sure. Because, I mean, there's a lot of people out there that are popular on TikTok. Lots of followings on the same people. So, if you add up all those millions of followers, at some point, all those people are going to run out of follows.
Right. And I mean, those actually affect people's lives sometimes because I think they get money based off how much like followers they have, and obviously that leads to more exposure.
Yeah, it also helps when they go live and they get donations on that. That's a lot of money on there. I've seen people donating hundreds of dollars on that, maybe even thousands, which is insane because nobody should make that much just going live streaming on the TikTok.
But it's just like those OnlyFans.
It is, but it's not at all.
It's pretty close.
I mean, OnlyFans is
Girls throwing ass on there. They doing whatever they want.
they doing a lot on there, but there's also a lot of people on
Thirst trapping.
OnlyFans posting normal stuff getting paid for that. Like all these dudes that make OnlyFans, most of them are basically posting like shirtless pictures or like workout videos. I mean, OnlyFans is used for more than that. People just see it as that.
Right.
So to a point, I guess you could say it's kind of the same.
Yeah, it's kind of like I forget what that one thing's called. It's like basically like an app that you just post whatever you want on it, and then people have to like subscribe to you to be able to see it. It's kind of like OnlyFans, but it's more of like a public OnlyFans to where it's not nudity.
Yeah, for sure. Gotta make it kid friendly, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. And another news thing we're gonna jump into. There was an Army hockey player who actually suffered a neck injury due to a skate flying up into the air and cutting him.
Oh,
And he was saved by athletic trainers. Pretty young kid. I think he was like 19. Eric Haas. And he was saved by the athletic trainer because they applied pressure to it soon enough.
now, how unlucky do you have to be for that to happen to you?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, very bad place, very bad time.
Yeah. Catching a blade to the neck.
Yeah, but he could have died from that.
I mean, I've seen videos of the guy catching the skate to the neck and he's just bleeding all over the ice.
Yeah, that's pretty awful to see.
Yeah. It's like a main artery just rupturing right on the ice. And I mean, I think we're approaching hockey season. Or not hockey season, but hockey playoffs, I think.
Yeah,
Coming
for
up
sure.
soon?
I'm pretty sure they're coming up here soon.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I know college hockey isn't coming soon, but I think pros is like in the next 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to look into it. We've never been much of hockey people, but
Hmm.
I mean, this guy just got his neck partially chopped off by a ice skate, which is insane to me because how the hell do you just let an ice skate fly off your foot onto someone's neck?
Right.
Like, your shoes should be tied pretty fucking tight if you're playing hockey. You know?
Yeah, for sure. And in other words, I mean, those dudes are flying around. I think hockey is like one of the only sports, like other than like fighting sports, where you can actually fight somebody and beat the shit out of them for fun.
Yeah, but you'd think by now maybe they would understand like the safety protocols to not let that happen. I mean, if they can't use the shoelaces, then they need to use like a strap or like a Velcro or something that will hold on tighter and secure it way more. You know what I'm saying? It'll be. I mean, I hope for the best for him. I mean, hopefully he's saved.
He did post a picture on I think it was Instagram of him with a big old roll on his neck that they had strapped to his neck, and kind of posted it, and he just was like holding a thumbs up.
Well, I mean, a little better is better than not better.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, yeah, you're in the hospital, but you could have been dead. So, I mean, you got to be grateful for what opportunities you get and all the, I guess, prayers you've gotten on the way, probably. Because, I mean, you're not just going to stop bleeding completely until you get that artery fixed up.
Right. And it looks like we got Jacksonville starting in Tennessee. Um, Here at about, I think it's 8 o'clock, 8:15 start time. With a healthy Derrick Henry, we're looking like he's ready to go. Coming off a 17 rush, 121 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah, that's a big game. I mean, I don't know. I feel like Derrick Henry could have had a lot better of a game.
RG3 wearing the backwards Damar Hamlin jersey with Hamlin on the front.
Always good to see old NFL players, all NFL players respecting him, keeping him in their prayers still, making sure he gets back to full health. I mean, that's the main priority for him.
Yeah, for sure. And it says the winner clinches the AFC South and a playoff berth tonight. Who do you think's going to come out on top tonight?
Man, it's hard to say. Jacksonville has that sneaky good offense. Their defense is pretty, solid. It's not terrible. Obviously, they're fighting for the playoffs for a reason. But, the Titans is the Titans. They got Derrick Henry. That's pretty much all you need.
I'm going to say, do you think that's all you need to win? Is just a Derrick Henry?
Not necessarily. I mean, he's had bad games.
He's a big motherfucker, but I don't think him alone can win a football game.
Nah. I mean, obviously everybody has to do their job. They still have Ryan Tannehill, who's an average quarterback. I mean, he's not great, but he's not awful.
Right. But I mean, they don't really got any weapons out there, I feel like.
Jacksonville only has Trevor Lawrence. I mean, he's didn't do too hot last year.
Travis Etienne, Zay Jones.
Yeah. But their defense, I can't name one player.
Josh Allen.
I mean, that's one player.
There you go. There's their whole offense. Christian Kirk, Marvin Jones.
Solid.
And Zay Jones.
I mean,
and Evan Ingram.
They're pretty solid on offense, but I think
they have one of the.
It could be a shootout.
I mean, they have honestly one of the best O-line in football.
It might be a close game right here. I hope Trevor Lawrence does good with Travis Etienne and all those players.
I just got news from a close source actually that Tannehill's out tonight.
Tannehill is out.
Joshua Dobbs is in.
Joshua Dobbs. Sounds like a lot of running for Derrick Henry.
I think it sounds like a Jacksonville victory.
I don't know. I mean, I kind of hope they win. I wouldn't mind seeing it.
Yeah, even though I hate that motherfucker Trevor Lawrence, I mean, I'd like to see Jacksonville in the playoffs.
For sure. I mean, they're never in the playoffs, literally ever. And I've never seen them myself in the playoffs. So, seeing them in the playoffs for the first time in my lifetime probably would be dope.
Joshua Dobbs is on his 5th team.
Yeah.
First career start in Week 17. He's never started in Week 17. Do you think he's ready for this moment just because of how long he's been in the league?
I don't think so.
About 6 years.
I think he has a good opportunity right here to prove who he is as a quarterback. So it's a big game for them. So he needs to step up and do his thing here.
Yeah, I mean, and they don't really have any weapons in the second or on their wide receiving core other than Robert Woods. And Robert Woods is one of the better guys out there. I mean, they're all out here shaking hands right now, looking like they're saying good luck, stay healthy, love ya, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see. I mean, they don't ever do this. Now they're all about to say a prayer. This is the best thing I've seen on TV ever. They're praying before this football game.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's great to see people come together like that and, possibly even just uplift each other and just make everybody feel loved and cared for.
The Damar Hamlin thing set the world on edge, so everybody has to start loving each other at some point,
Yeah, for sure. I guess on other football talks, I mean, Michigan possibly had an NCAA violation that could cost scholarships and maybe even future playoffs.
The scholarships would be bad. I mean, those players need him. Some of them, like really bad. So it'd be nice to see them not do that.
Yeah, for sure.
They need those scholarships like badly.
I see you popped in here, Pops. What'd you think about that?
I just think it's going to be. I'm sorry about that. I think it's going to be hell for them because that's anytime you have an NCAA violations, it never ends good. Probably not going to be in any bowl games that matter if it gets found. I mean, that it's all true. I mean, it seems like it's pretty true. You can't. They have 2 violations related to using coaches and during the practice sessions, too many coaches during practice sessions, and then contact with 2 recruits during the COVID-19 dead period and watching players work out on video feed. So strong sources are saying that they're going to get they're going to get a hard ding in their armor, I think. So I would look for Jim Hardball that he will be probably taking an NFL job. That's what these coaches do. They get caught doing something bad in the college level, and then if they have a chance to go hop ship and go pro, that's what they do. And he's clearly in the wrong here, I think, they're going to find out. I mean, obviously, probably in the next 2 months. So I think there's a lot of bad stuff about to go down in Ann Arbor. So that's.
I mean, as the NCAA, do you think that they're going to like when it says possible playoff runs? I mean, or do you think they're gonna like if they're like undefeated going into the playoffs, they're still gonna shut them out of it?
Yep. Yep. That's exactly what it'll mean. It's happened to other teams in the past, Miami, Florida State. It can't happen to a better team. I mean, anything bad that happens to Michigan, for me, I'm good with that. So
Yeah, I mean, what Notre Dame fan doesn't like that? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I love to see it because it's not the other Harbaugh.
Yeah,
you got the good Harbaugh,
the smart one.
I mean, and for his future, where do you think he's going to land? Do you think he's going to land in like Indianapolis, where they need a coach? Chicago? I mean, we're talking. There's a couple teams out there that need a coach, and maybe even Belichick looking to retire here soon. I don't know.
I think Indy's the strongest chance. He played in Indy, so I know that they went for him before, obviously in the past, and they kind of got screwed around when Josh McDaniels messed up and said, "Hey, I'm going to be your head coach," but then decided to stay in New England. Now he's doing a great job with the Vegas Raiders, obviously. So, one of those things. So I think it's really going to be interesting to see if Harbaugh goes to Indy. I really think that's the strongest chance. And then along the lines of coaching, Sean Payton is going to be doing an interview with the Denver Broncos, and I think that's a huge deal. That's a young, talented team. Sean Payton, hell of a coach. So I think if he takes that job, Denver's going to be really good, really quick.
I mean, do you think that he can fix a quarterback such as Russell Wilson, where he's kind of fell off and he's not how he used to be anymore? He's not putting up these MVP numbers like he used to.
I think it's all about the coach. I mean, with Russell, it was always about the coach. Pete Carroll made Russell Wilson, so he's a system quarterback. He's not really a quarterback 100%. He's a system quarterback. It's kind of like everybody said, "Oh, well, Tom Brady's a system quarterback," and then Tom Brady gets out of there and actually realize, maybe he's not a system quarterback. He's Tom Brady. So he went to Tampa and wins. So I think you'll see Russell turn it around real quick because Sean Payton's that type of coach. So I think he'll just put him into his system and, he'll do real good. And I think that's like any good coach, like 49ers coach. I don't know why his name slipped in my head, but and then McVay, which there's a chance he could be done. His job's in limbo. He's thinking about being done in LA after this year. So, he's one of those coaches that can change a quarterback real quick. Look at Stafford and win the Super Bowl. So, yeah, I really think Peyton will do a hell of a job in Denver and turn Russell around.
I mean, you have, I mean, McVay over there in LA. I mean, it'd be surprising to see him leave with how young he is. I mean, where would he go? I mean, we're going to see a lot of like a lot of change in this offseason. I feel like with like big names flying around in free agency.
Oh yeah, I think with him though, the reason that he wants to leave is to kind of step aside for a year, kind of like what Sean Payton just did, kind of reestablish life, hang out with the family, chill out, and then he'll probably miss football. He's young enough he can coach for another 20, 30 years and take a year off. So wouldn't shock me.
And then other dramatic news. I don't know if you saw, but Notre Dame's basketball team actually got into a little scuffle with North Carolina on a blocked shot. One of the Notre Dame players actually stepped on the North Carolina player's head.
Yeah, I think it was inadvertent, though. I don't think it was intentional. But he did whack him pretty good to throw him out in the crowds, and then kind of came down on him. Momentum kind of carried him, but it wasn't as bad as a fight as what I thought it was going to be. ESPN hyped it up pretty good. I didn't see it live, but it was pretty.
I thought we were going to see a Malice in the Palace Part 2.
Yeah, I think that could have happened for a brief second, but all the teams got out there real quick, so it could have got out of hand, but they kept them back. I mean, I think the Notre Dame players were kind of like, no, we need to get away from it, kind of went about their day, whereas the rest of them were kind of like, let's go at it. North Carolina was ready to go, but one of their players is the ones that got hurt.
Yeah, and I think Notre Dame's too poised and too collected to even step out of line like that and actually get into a physical altercation with another team just because of how disciplined they are.
Yeah, very much so. They have a tenured team. They're a lot of seniors on that team, so I don't think they're going to be going out to brawl anybody when they're trying to make an NCAA tourney.
Yeah, and I wonder what's going to happen to Mike Brain the next couple of years. I know his job's been up in the air as well, coming back to the coach scenario. I know his job's been up in the air with Notre Dame year after year, kind of struggling to maintain it just due to records and not even making an NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I think he's been there a long time. He's one of those coaches. I mean, I think it'd take a little bit to get him out of there. I think that him making tournaments and stuff like that's keeping Notre Dame happy because basketball isn't what pays the bills over there. It's football. So, and women's basketball. Men's is kind of like the third sport, maybe even the fourth, because hockey's up there pretty good.
Our number one sport's fencing.
And exactly. And we actually know. We have a great source to the coach, the Notre Dame fencing coach. He's a nice guy, actually. Brianna, your sister's best friend. Her dad is the fencing head coach at Notre Dame. So, kind of a cool little side note.
Yeah, and I think overall, college sports are slowly getting better and better with how well-rounded each college is. I don't think there's that one school that's getting everybody anymore. And I kind of wanted to bring up today, because we haven't talked about it on the podcast yet, I wanted to talk about Deion landing in Colorado and how that spiced the whole NCAA world up. What do you think about that, Tyler?
Man, the amount of 5 stars and 4 stars seeing transfer there, or even just recommit, is insane, because I've never seen that many 5 stars, 4 stars going to one team. So it might be a powerhouse for the next 4 years, if not more. Just watching Deion do his thing.
And Shador's son, committing to Colorado, is being a quarterback that he's going to be. He probably won't be there for 4 years. I could see him be there for 2 or 3, because I don't think Shador has 4 years of eligibility left. But I wonder if he's going to follow his son and just kind of go try to coach an NFL team after doing college and just kind of do the hippity-scott hip-hop and jump into the NFL.
He'd really have to impress the NFL to do that. He's the ex-football player, but not many of them become coaches like that. But I wouldn't put it past Deion. The man played football and baseball and played both games in a Super Bowl and a World Series. So I wouldn't put it past him to become a head coach. The man's capable of a lot.
I would agree. I think Deion just being there alone is going to bring a lot of cornerback talent there. You're going to get a lot of talent in general that just want to have kind of that young, spiffy, outgoing coach, but that is also going to teach them life lessons and kind of bring them back to being a school that is up there on the leaderboard in college football.
Yeah, for sure.
And I mean, because the day after he said he was going to Colorado, I think we saw 12 or 14 players decommit from Alabama and enter the transfer portal. I don't know if all of them went to Colorado, but I know a couple of them did land in Colorado, and they were 4-star recruits, 5-star recruits that played for a nationally known football team already. And I think that could really cause some damage because a lot of them were O-linemen.
Yeah, and O-line is where you start with the team. You got to have O-line to move the ball.
Yeah, because those big fucks got to push them up, push everybody out of the way, and make room for the running back or quarterback or whatever. I mean, in this case, it could be either with Shador being a multi-versatile quarterback that's able to kind of do a little bit of everything. I mean, he's not as dual threat as you think he will be. He's pretty stay in the pocket and make a pass kind of guy. But if he has to get out of there, he gets out of there, man. I've seen him do it a couple times.
Yeah, I mean, he probably picked up some speed from Dion at least. So you can't have the slowest body.
Yeah, and I think he's sitting around 6'3", 6'4" for a quarterback. I think he's pretty tall.
I think I read that he was like 6'3", about 250. So, I mean, that's a big guy.
And he's just 2 inches shorter. He'd be Josh Allen, black Josh Allen. And he'd be really effective in the run game.
Yeah. I mean, mobile quarterbacks is like the new thing now. Everybody wants to run. And I kind of like seeing it because watching a quarterback be able to break open for a 50, 70-yard touchdown, it's pretty dope.
Yeah. I mean, we're seeing that more and more now. What we got in the NFL, we got Justin Fields, we got Lamar Jackson, we got who else? I mean, Patty Mahomes gets out there a little bit here and there even. Josh even does Josh Allen. You've seen him hurdle a couple guys. But yeah, I think Colorado is going to have a big impact on football, especially college football, in the next 2 years, for sure. I mean, I think they could become. What do you think? Top 25 team?
I think they worked their way up into a bowl game.
Do you think they're going to work pre-rankings and be ranked before the season starts?
They might, just off of who they've picked up, all the commits. I know they're fucking rookie class in 2023, 24 is probably be pretty well-rounded.
Yeah, the recruitment class.
Yeah, because I know they gotten some from Notre Dame themselves, some 4 stars, 5 stars. I mean, they've gotten a lot of talent.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think about those Jackson State players that actually were allowed to follow him into that? Do you think they're going to be just as good? Like I'm talking about Hunter.
Yeah, I mean, they've all played together. So, I mean, if those players play well with them, then it'll be a smooth ride from there. You just got to see how it goes at practice and see how well they play together. You know?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're going to be pretty impactful. I just don't know how that's going to play out. I think they're going to have a lot of contests because, I mean, as a Colorado player that was already there beforehand with the previous coach, I mean, how do you feel if a coach comes in and is like, hey, pack your bags, go to the transfer portal if you don't think you're good enough because he's bringing his own players?
I mean, at the end of the day, it's probably for the best. They're not ranked for a reason, so they probably don't have very great talent over there. And if he's bringing great talent with him, then you might as well start him. Because, I mean, me personally, I'm not starting a third string over a first string.
Mm-hmm. I would agree. And I mean, Travis Hunter, #1 recruit in the country, not last. I think it was last year, is going to land in Colorado with him.
It'd be good to see.
I mean, he went to Jackson State, and then he's just staying with him. Yeah. Going to Colorado. He put it on his YouTube channel, said he's a lock for Colorado.
Yeah, I mean, Dion does his thing, man. if he wants to pull someone with him, he's gonna pull someone with him.
I mean, and going back to the Damar Hamlin thing, as we're seeing it right here on live TV. I mean, they got the number highlighted on every 30-yard line with red lining on it. I mean, everybody's wearing number 3 shirts in pregame warm up. I mean,
Derrick Henry even had it on right there under his shoulder pads.
yeah, and I mean, do you think that's really? I mean, what do you think the outcome is going to be after this? I mean, how long do you think this is going to carry on into the next couple games? Going into the playoffs, do you think they're still going to be supporting DeMar?
I mean, I don't see him taking it too long, but I'm sure they'll keep it going for a little while, making sure that everybody knows that he should be in their prayers because it was a tragic thing that happened. So everybody should have him in their prayers for sure.
And Pops, I mean, do you think that this Damar Hamlin situation is going to make a lot of these players scared?
I talked to somebody today, and they thought that they asked the same question. I think it's always going to make it's making people like what you saw at the beginning of the game. Talk to God, believe in God, say your prayers, believe in yourself, take care of yourself, stuff like that. I think people are going to always be hesitant when they start the game, but once you get in the game, you can't help but the instinct to kick in, right? So you let it loose, but there'll be some fears. But I don't think it's going to be anything that's going to make people not do what they need to do. Uh-oh. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, it started acting creepy. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I was saying, like, do you think it's going to make players not hit as hard and not do the same things they used to do just to be cautious on the side of other people's lives?
No, I don't think so. I think that, again, you'll see like what they did it before the games, and you're going to see the prayers and the camaraderie and things like that. You'll probably see that, the rest of the year. Hopefully you see that all the time because, honestly, that's what we all need, right? It's God and being able to lean on Him and come together with your brotherhood. And they all showed up as a brotherhood, When you're on the field, you're battling. Everybody knows the what you're doing when you're out there. I think there'll be some fears to start the game, always. From now on, probably it's probably going to be in the back of your head. But once you get into the game, it's kind of that instinct thing kicks in, right? So I think that's what you're going to see. You're going to see a lot of people that have a little bit of hesitancy, but I don't think it's going to stop them from putting on a big hit or anything like that. I think it's just going to be like, okay, once you get that first hit out of you, you're good. So I think that's what you're going to see.
Well, and then the odds of it happening is very slim. I mean, he was just unfortunate in that moment for that to happen. So, I mean, it can happen to people no matter what, but they can't play with that fear if they want to win a football game.
Yeah, and there was actually some controversy thrown around. People were kind of upset that they canceled that game because, I mean, you see like the Ryan Shazier paralyzation where he loses half the field, like he can't function half of his body due to a hit. I mean, stuff like that. I mean, what do you think? I mean, do you think that was a right call to cancel that game and totally not let them play it the rest of the year?
I mean, yeah, because if you think about it, I've never seen this happen before. I mean, I've heard on the news that there was at least one more person that's had dropped on the field, but not due to the same reason. So it's like a first time thing. So they kind of per se overreacted, but I personally don't think they overreacted. The guy almost died on the field, and those are his brothers watching that happen, basically. So at that point, if you have the team and the coach basically refusing to come back out just because they don't want to play without him, I think it was a great decision.
I mean, and Pops, do you think that the high school and like the little kid football, I mean, do you think they're going to take much of a note of that Damar Hamlin incident?
I mean, I think it's a parent thing, right? I don't think you can take it out of the hands of the parents. I mean, they're going to obviously probably call things a little bit differently at those levels, but I think it's going to be, it starts there, right? Because coaches, it's your responsibility to teach people how to coach or to tackle, how to hit. Nobody can judge a heart condition. Is that going to stop anybody from playing football? No. Football's too big of a sport now, right? It's the American sport. So I think that you're going to see precautionary stuff. I think, such as, for example, like we have 3 little athletes in the house, one being a IHSAA athlete, varsity diver, and she's going in for a CT and a echocardiogram because they're offering them for free for children right now in our area, since this incident, but also since it's happened to other youth. A youth athlete's mother is the one that's putting it on. So I think that's the kind of stuff you're going to see. You're going to see people putting out money. I would imagine he's going to probably put out money in his community and get awareness. The awareness is out there now to test kids for heart problems, things along those lines. So
I mean, we just had Zach tune in here, but Zach, does as a father, does that scare you a little bit, letting your son play football due to the Damar Hamlin incident?
I mean, we're gonna see how that has to be when he gets a little bit older. But as of now, I think no, just because kids like in the small ages, but don't hit as hard. Now, when you get to like middle school, high school, that's when you start to worry a tad. I feel like, but like that's just coming from me because I played Pop Warner, and Pop Warner really wasn't like a killer situation. But middle school, that's when I started getting hit harder and harder. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah, I mean, middle school is when I suffered my first concussion, and
That's what happened to me. I got hit hard as hell in my head, and that's when I had my first concussion / I broke 3 fingers, and I was like, yeah, this different.
yeah, and I mean, getting hit like that. I mean, even Tyler over here experienced something about 6th grade when he got flattened by a kid in the MFL here locally, and got whacked.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. Everybody's going to get hit hard. It's a sport, contact sport.
Yeah, and I just, what I'm like right here, even, I mean, Damar, I'm just glad to see him tweeting again and glad to see him somewhat healthy and recovering. I mean, everybody's being supportive. I mean, the only thing I'm worried about now is the NFL setting up another rule because of this incident. Like, you know what I mean? Like, kind of how, like, once all the head stuff started happening with the head, they were, like, made the targeting rules so much more sensitive, and now basically a quarterback can't be touched.
Yeah, but to a point, I mean, it's a one-time thing. Like, I've seen it happen once. They've seen it happen once. So, I mean, you can't really create a rule if it's happened 1 out of 1,000,000 times. Like,
I think this is
wasn't
personally
a huge thing.
I think this is personally the biggest year I've ever seen, like, people getting, like, knocked out, like, getting, like, just straight up wailed on and, like, losing consciousness and getting, like, all seized up. I think this has been
That's crazy though. He didn't sit there and think about that though. Like you didn't see that stuff really last year or the year before that. Nobody was losing consciousness. So is that more on the training that they're not doing, like trying to like go in the off season and be like, hey, this is how you got to protect yourself more. You know what I'm saying? Like that should be another training, bro. Like that has to go like to the quarterback room and all other things, like how to protect your players that you're throwing the ball to, and or like the running back situation. Like don't lower your head into somebody that's gonna you don't like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's just weird.
like I mean, coming from me as like being like an ex medical student, studying medical now. Like, I mean, there's not much you can do. I mean, you can strengthen the neck muscles and like the traps to prevent injury to like stabilize the head better. But I mean, other than that, I mean, the only thing that you can do to protect them is give them better equipment.
So at this point, does it become a equipment problem?
Yeah,
Our shoulder pads outdated. Our helmets outdated. Because there has to be something out there that can protect them way better than what they have right
I don't
now.
think anything's outdated. I think the thing is they went with a hybrid style of things. So everything's hybrid, so it's lighter and things along those lines to make the players faster. I think what you're going to do, like if you look at safeties and corners and what the pads they were wearing back in the 80s, it's double the size of what you have now. So I think you're going to start to see bigger, more bulkier pads on people, and you're going to start to see more of the chest plate maybe going down a little bit further. So if you do take that hit to the chest, this is preventable to a point, right? But I don't think it's completely preventable, because if you get hit by something running a 4.2 and they're running in to kill you, to knock your head off, chances are there's no padding that's going to stop that. But I think your helmets, with those hybrid helmets, and you see the ones that are kind of poofed up now a little bit more, that stuff's going to become more. You'll start seeing more of that on the head, but they got to find some kind of thing that's like Tua. Every single time he hits, he's got a concussion. You watch his neck; it's like a noodle. So I don't know what he does, but it's like his neck just can't sustain anything going down. And it
I
just
mean, I wonder if we're going to see the neck roll coming back more, like the neck padding, like we used to see like Franco Harris and stuff wear back in the day. Rest in peace, Franco Harris. Um, and just seeing people like that with these big bulky things around their neck.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, having the neck brace there, or the neck pad per se, could be a huge addition to the shoulder pads. Almost like guarantee them to stop concussions almost, because their neck won't whip as much.
Right, for sure. I mean, we're gonna probably wrap it up here. And it was. I mean, it's great having you guys here. Thanks for tuning in, Zach. Thanks for tuning in, Pops. We're looking to have another stream tomorrow, another podcast, or probably not tomorrow. So we're probably gonna look at having another podcast maybe Monday night or closer into the week. We'll keep everybody updated on the posts. Thanks for tuning in, though, and we'll catch you guys next time. Enjoy Jacksonville and Tennessee. Alright, Melo made it right. Bye bye, bye bye. Oh my, get out my life. She said why? Melo made it.